The text wasn't meant for me. Can't wait to see you tonight, babe. My wife's phone lit up at dinner, but I wasn't the one who sent it. That's how I discovered my wife of 12 years wasn't just cheating, she was living a complete double life. Our anniversary dinner, 12 years. She wore the blue dress I bought her last Christmas. Everything seemed perfect until her phone lit up. She grabbed it too quickly, but not before I saw the name, Mike from work. Funny thing, I knew everyone at her office. There was no Mike. You know that moment when your whole world shifts? When everything you thought you knew suddenly feels wrong? That's what happened when I saw her hands shaking as she put the phone away. Everything okay? I asked. Just work stuff. She smiled. That practiced perfect smile. Here's what she didn't know. Her phone was synced to our home tablet. Every message, every photo, every location pin. Think finding one text is bad? Wait until you see what 12 years of backup data revealed. That night, while she slept, I started digging. 3 years of messages with Mike hidden photos, secret email accounts, bank statements I'd never seen. But something wasn't adding up. The timeline was too perfect, too organized, almost like she wanted someone to find it. Mike from work wasn't just a lover. His real name was Michael Thorne, securities trader, recently divorced, and, according to his LinkedIn, never worked at my wife's company. Then I found the joint bank account statements. She wasn't just cheating. She was planning something. The photos told another story. Family vacations I didn't know about, a lake house I'd never seen, kids. 2 of them, around 8 years old. Not our kids. We didn't have any. My wife wasn't having an affair. She was living 2 complete lives, 2 families, 2 homes, 2 entirely separate existences. But here's where it gets really twisted, because what I found next changed everything I thought I knew about our marriage. I started tracking everything. Her business trips matched school holidays at the lake house. Late meetings coincided with soccer games and recitals. Weekly yoga classes were family dinners with them. Our date nights were always Thursdays when the kids had overnight activities. 12 years of perfect scheduling. Not a single overlap. Then I found her other wedding photos. She wore the same dress, same smile, same month, different year. But something caught my eye in the background. My best friend Tom. Not as a guest, as a groomsman. He knew. I invited Tom for drinks. Casual. Normal. How long have you known about Sarah's other family? He choked on his beer. How did you? 12 years, Tom. 12 years you watched me build a life with someone who had another husband. Another family. Think betrayal by your wife is bad? Wait until you hear why my best friend kept her secret. Tom broke down. She's not who you think she is. Neither of them are. Them? Sarah and Michael aren't just living double lives. They're working together, have been for 15 years. The truth spilled out. Sarah and Michael were partners, professional con artists, targeting wealthy families, creating perfect lives, then destroying them. I wasn't her only husband. Michael wasn't her only other life. There were others. Many others. Tom pulled out a file. Photos of Sarah with different families, multiple identities, bank accounts across countries, a pattern going back 20 years. You think living 2 lives is complicated. Wait until you see how many families she's destroyed. Why tell me now? I asked. Tom's answer chilled me. Because you're next. They're about to implement their exit strategy. According to Tom, the pattern was always the same. Build trust for 10 to 15 years. Accumulate joint assets. Create perfect documentation. Then vanish, taking everything. But first, they'd destroy their target's reputation, make them look unstable, paranoid, abusive. Check your computer, Tom said. They've already started. He was right. Hidden in my browser history. Searches for illegal content. Violent websites. Things I'd never looked up, all perfectly documented. All traceable to me. Tom showed me more. 7 destroyed families, millions in stolen assets, ruined reputations, lives completely shattered. And Sarah, she was their masterpiece, the perfect wife who could maintain multiple lives for years. Think I'm paranoid? Wait until you see what they planted in my office. My office computer at work. Embezzlement evidence, fake client accounts, money transfers. I never made everything pointing to me as the criminal. I had 2 choices, run and look guilty, fight back with what they never expected. The truth I chose, option 2, but with a twist. First steps: hired a private investigator, set up hidden cameras at home, started recording every conversation, created my own paper trail, but most importantly, I played dumb. The perfect, unsuspecting husband. The PI discovered something interesting. Sarah and Michael weren't just con artists. They were part of something bigger, a network of professional imposters targeting specific families. The numbers were staggering. 23 families targeted, $50 million stolen, 15 cities, 12 years of operations. But here's where it gets really interesting, because what we found in Sarah's secret storage unit changed everything. Unit 247, industrial area outside town. Inside, files on every target family, multiple passports, birth certificates, and wedding albums. Dozens of them, each showing Sarah as the perfect bride. Different names, different lives, but in the corner, something unexpected. A photo of Sarah, much younger, with a man I recognized, my father, dated 20 years ago. This wasn't random. My family had been the target all along. Sarah was planted in my life. Our chance meeting in college? Planned, every moment, orchestrated my father's company, his empire, everything he built. That was the real target. I wasn't just another mark. I was the mark. Think your whole life being a lie is bad? Wait until you hear who was really behind it all. I took the photo to my father. His face went white. "Where did you find this?" Then he said something that changed everything. "That's not Sarah in the photo. That's her mother." The truth exploded. 20 years ago, my father ran a similar con. Sarah's mother was his target. He took everything from their family. Sarah had spent 12 years planning her revenge. It wasn't just about money anymore. Every happy moment was calculated, every anniversary planned, every I love you part of a script, all leading to this moment. Think revenge is best served cold? Wait until you see what Sarah had planned for the grand finale. I found Sarah in our kitchen, making dinner like any normal night. "How's your mother, Rachel?" I used her real name. She froze. Just for a second, then smiled. That perfect, practiced smile. "How long have you known?" she asked, still cutting vegetables. The knife moved steadily. Too steadily. Long enough to understand why you chose me. Why you chose us. All of us. She turned slowly. The mask finally dropped. "Your father destroyed 5 families," she said. "Not just mine. 5. And he got away with it." She pulled out a USB drive. "Want to see what your perfect father really did?" The files showed everything. My father's past cons, ruined families, hidden accounts, lives he destroyed. But there was more. You think you know who the real villain is? Wait until you see what both families had planned all along. "Your father knows everything," she said. "Has known for years." "What? This whole thing? It's his game. Always has been." "Your father hired me," Sarah said, "to test you." The room spun. Every lie, every deception, the other family all orchestrated by him. My father's voice from the doorway. "And you failed, son." He walked in, followed by Michael, Tom, and faces I recognized from the storage unit photos. Did you really think I'd leave my empire to someone who couldn't spot a con? It was all a test. My marriage, the betrayal, the investigation, everything, but they never expected one thing. I'd known from the start. Think double crosses are complicated? Wait until you see who is really pulling all the strings. I pulled out my phone, pressed play. Every conversation, every meeting, every plan they'd made, all live streaming too, the FBI SEC investigators, and every board member of my father's company. The room erupted. My father lunged for my phone. Sarah reached for her knife. Michael headed for the door, but they were already too late. FBI agents poured in. Everyone on the ground. But here's the real twist. Among them was Sarah's mother, badge out, gun drawn. "It's over, James," she said to my father. 20 years of undercover work. Building the case, tracking every con, recording every scheme, waiting for them to make one mistake. And I was her inside man. Had been from the start. Still think you know who's playing who? The next revelation changes everything. Sarah stared at her mother, then at me. "You both knew? The whole time?" "Honey," her mother smiled. "Who do you think arranged your chance meeting with David?" The truth spilled out like dominoes. Sarah's mother, 20-year FBI operation. Me, recruited in college. Our marriage, real feelings, fake circumstances. The goal, Take down an international con ring. My father laughed. Actually laughed. You think this is the end? Check your phone again, son. I did. The live stream had stopped. Instead, a message appeared. Thank you for the confession. Turns out everyone was playing everyone. Father playing Sarah playing me. Me playing Father FBI playing us all. But someone else was playing the FBI. The real mastermind? They're about to step into the light. The front door opened. High heels on hardwood. A familiar face. My mother. Not dead for 20 years like I'd been told. Very much alive. And holding all the evidence. Hello, everyone, my mother said. Miss me. The room frozen. FBI agents uncertain Sarah's mother pale. My father, for once, speechless. And Sarah, a smile playing at her lips. My mother laid out the truth. 20 years of watching, waiting, building the perfect trap. You all played your parts beautifully. She was the architect. Created the FBI operation, orchestrated my marriage, set up my father's cons. All for one purpose. The real target, she smiled. None of you. It was never about money or revenge. She opened her briefcase. Inside, evidence of something bigger. Government conspiracies, corporate cover-ups, international secrets, power beyond wealth. Want to know what's worth more than money and revenge combined? Hit subscribe for part 2 of the biggest conspiracy unraveling. In the end, my father went to prison. Sarah and I stayed together. Surprisingly, her mother retired from the FBI. And my mother, well, that's another story entirely, because sometimes the biggest lies aren't about love or money. They're about power. And the truth, it's just another con.